Hello again, and welcome to another Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. We are on issue 85. We are going to be finishing out the surround for the engine bay and installing it in the car. So there's only a couple of pieces in this kit. Two big ones, a couple of little ones that make up the lamp. But then we're going to be attaching it to the surround we've been building, and then we're going to bring in the car and attach it to all of that. Hope everybody's having a great day. Personally, I'm having a pretty fantastic day. So let's get this open and started. Okay, so like I said, we got a couple of big pieces. We've got the back. Depending on your point of view, this is the back side of the car, the front of the engine bay. This is kind of the bulkhead, the firewall. And then we have these little pieces which are going to go together to make up the lamp. So there is a front and back to this piece. This is the part that's going to screw in and hold the LED that illuminates the engine bay. And I'm not sure how well you can see it, but that has a raised center on that side, whereas the back is essentially all the same height. So the side that's all the same height is the side we're gonna want to use, and this lens cover is going to snap over that. Snap might be a strong word, but anyway, it fits over that. This then pushes onto the black piece here, where these three holes are. And this is all going to be secured together if I don't drop it. You know, wait a minute. I am calling the instructions out. The instructions have this backwards. The instructions show that raised edge, but actually that fits perfectly inside the lamp lens, and I'm sure it's meant to fit that way. And also, it is a better fit against the smooth surface on the car. So the picture in the book is backwards if you're doing this yourself. They show you, like I say, leaving that raised part facing out, and no, you don't want to do that. This is going to be secured to this larger black piece with 2 AP screws, which is all of the AP screws for this kit. Or I hope so, because they only gave me 3. Oh yeah, 100%, because with that, the posts from the lens now actually stick through and hold it in place, so it's not sliding all over the place. So the screws actually go into the lens itself. The black piece that's going to hold the LED bulb is really just sandwiched. And yeah, so with that installed, that's going to be like that. This is going to be at the back side of the engine bay, behind the engine from the point of view of anybody opening the cover towards the front of the car. So the next thing we need to do is attach this to the surround that we have going. So I got that right here. I'm wrong. It is going in the bay, but this is the front. This is the rear. I'm a little confused. It's okay. So this piece in this orientation is going to go right up here. It's going to be held to the frame with some BP screws on the front through the plastic, and then afterwards some DM screws to hold it to the metal top. So there's 4 BP screws first to put this together initially. And I think this may be all the BP screws we're going to use in this build today. And as always, I'm going to put these in just loosely until I got the fit right, and then we can tighten everything down. Okay, so it's a little tough to see, but there's our surround. Again, this is going to be the bumper tail end. So if you were looking from the rear of the car, that would be your perspective. The lamp will then illuminate kind of near you. Now, again, we need to put in some DM screws to continue securing this. Those go on the underside and hold this together. I see, yes, okay. So they go in here and on the opposite side. It didn't look like there was a screw hole from the way I was holding it, but it is there. And we have our trusty 3-in-1 machine oil here. I don't know why I'm trying to be so particular about how many screws I get out. I'm using these screws for the rest of the build. Normally I count the screws out so I know I've used the right number and I'm not forgetting something. But I really don't think that's going to be a problem here. Okay, that's a little more secure now. The next step, the thing I was trying to do ahead of time, is to take this silver back and kind of fit it around the rest of the pieces here. So they say push it into position. It's an interesting description. Okay, sort of makes sense. On the bottom here, there's two holes. These two pins are actually going to go in them, so it actually pushes up from underneath. And those pins help secure everything. Okay. So this is going to be held together with a bunch more DM screws. 3 more at this stage. I guess that's pretty obvious looking at the piece. Okay, so with that secured, it actually pulled up this side a little bit. These pieces didn't quite line up. That screw in there makes it hold together quite a bit better now. And these ends are all looking clean. So, now that we have that plate installed, if you remember we put this springy hose on, this kind of elastic band hose, and this can go into the back over these other cables. Swear it can. It's partway in there. I just gotta, you can see here, I got it a little bit. I just gotta get it the rest of the way. This hose is also slightly too long with the way the elastic is. Well, it looks like I had the same problem on the other end. Okay, well that's probably about as good as I'm going to get it without breaking it. And it's not terrible. Could be better. The cord's too long. Oh well. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, I'm going to get a bunch of screws ready in advance. It's going to be 8 screws total for this. 8 more screws. We're actually going to bring in the car body, and we're going to attach this. So I have the car here. I'm going to get this out of the way for a moment. And so this is going to fit in this way. Obviously, it's got to do it from the underside, and I got to make sure all these wires are out of the way. But it's going to go more or less like that. So I just got to carefully flip this over, get it in the right spot, and secure the screws. So it's 3 screws on one side, 2 on the back, 3 screws up the other side. Where did I put my screwdriver? These are all DM screws, and I will of course be using machine oil as I go. Okay, so we have an engine bay installed. This is just about ready to slip over the the rest of the car. Next week we're going to be putting in the interior of the roof, and I think after that we've got some wiring and things to make sure all the lights work, but we are really moving. This is issue 85. This is done for Back to the Future 1 in issue 130, and some of Back to the Future 2, you know, the Mr. Fusion, which I'm not going to keep on mine. I'm not, I think, going to do the Back to the Future 3 train parts. I don't really care. I'm not going to swap the wheels on and off. I'm not going to display this in hover mode, you know, Back to the Future 2 stuff. So, we are 2/3 of the way there. First third was the interior of the car. Second third is this, which is almost done. I'm not actually sure what the last third's going to be. We're really moving. It's starting to look like a car. I think it's pretty cool. That is it for issue 85. If you like what you see, please subscribe. You can click on that cat if you want to see the rest of the channel, or subscribe. We do these Back to the Future builds on Saturdays, and we have Ghostbusters builds on Wednesdays. If you haven't checked those out, check those out. Click those playlists. Have a good one, guys.